to New York, guys. I'm super excited to be here. I used to live here. If you've been following me for a while, you might know that, but if you haven't, I lived here for 7 years, went to graduate school here, and I haven't been back in 10 years. I came in 2014, so I'm excited to come back and see some of my old favorites, but also do some things that just didn't exist here when I lived here before. I'm in Grand Central Station, if you can see that behind me. Oh, technically Grand Central Terminal. So, and this is where I used to come every day to commute for work. I lived on the Upper East Side, and I would come here, get off the train, and walk a couple of blocks because I worked on 44th Street. Grand Central is a really cool place to sort of like watch New York go by, but one of the main attractions is the ceiling. It's the constellations, and it's utterly beautiful. Apparently, and I don't remember when, but at some point the ceiling was restored and cleaned. I need to find the spot. There is a spot that used to exist. Maybe it doesn't anymore, but it used to be this dark spot where they cleaned, but only they didn't clean that spot, so you could see how dirty it used to be. Let's see if I can find it. All right, you may not be able to see it in the video, but where that last arch is, let me move the camera down. Where the last arch is, if you look to the left of it, there is a little dark patch. That's how dirty the ceiling used to be. And actually, if my memory serves me correctly, it's been that way. It hasn't gotten worse over the years, probably because we don't burn oil lamps and smoke as much inside anymore. If you're going to take the Metro North somewhere from Manhattan up to like Connecticut or something, this is where you would catch the train from. It looks like there's some sort of squash tournament going on in Vanderbilt Hall, but sometimes it used to be that this used to be a place where you would come and there would be a Christmas market. Not now, obviously it's not Christmas anymore. And it looks like there's a wine bar in here now. Wow, that's nice. I'm gonna show you something that may or not be well known to you if you haven't been to New York before, but here in Grand Central, there's a spot where you can stand in the corners. It's called the Whispering Corner, and no one can hear you except the person standing on the other side of the corner. So it's down here in this little crossroads of hallways by the Oyster Bar. It's been here forever. Now, obviously, I'm alone, so I can't do it, but it's here. So you stand in that corner, and someone stands over there. I think you can stand in any of the corners, actually, and it works. So if you're here with someone, try it out. All right, guys, I'm going to go for a little walk. As you can see, it's cold, and I hope that the audio is okay. I'm going to tell you guys I got a new camera, and it has an external mic, so audio quality should be better, but it's buried underneath all my gear, you know, my winter gear. So let's see how this goes. I think I'm going to walk over to Bryant Park because they're supposed to be having this outdoor, like what used to be a Christmas market, but now it's just like a winter market. And I used to work over by Bryant Park, so it's sort of special to me. So I'm gonna not film too much though, because my hands are like ice cubes. And sadly, it looks like a lot of it is closed already for the season, which is kind of sad. Really wanted it to be Christmas-like. I don't know why. I'm still living in Christmas, but there's snow. If you're wondering what that is behind me, that's the New York Public Library. When I was walking over here, I showed it to you guys. So now the skating rink in Bryant Park is still open, so we'll go over there and take a look at that. And then I'm gonna find some food. Oh, this is nice. It's really cold over here by the ice though. And there are places to eat like around the outside, but it is way too cold to stand out here and eat. I can barely feel my fingers, people. I don't even know where to eat. I used to know all the places to eat in New York City, and obviously now I don't, but not far from here is my old office, and the diner that I used to go eat at for lunch is still open. I might walk by there and see if I want to eat there. So this is it. This is the Red Flame Diner. I used to come here like almost every day for lunch because my office was in this building across the street until I quit and went to grad school, and then I started working in a different office. But for like several years, this was where I came almost every day. If you're one of my Greek followers, you'll be happy to know that this is a Greek-owned diner, which most are in New York City. And at the time, I didn't know that, but now I know, and it's bigger. It used to be just where this little thing is here, and then they expanded when I lived here, and now apparently they have an upstairs. I have decided to do something I've never done before, which is eat at the Parisian Square Cafe, which is right across the street from Grand Central. I don't know how it is, but I'm freezing cold, and I've walked around a lot, so it's time to get warm. Hopefully they'll have soup. Okay, here is the dinner. Ooh, they have French onion soup. That might be the thing I end up getting. They also have some specials, and what's really exciting is they have rice pudding for dessert, which is a dessert that I can actually eat. Okay, here is my French onion soup and sweet potato fries. I don't often get sweet potato fries anywhere anymore, so when I saw them, I decided to get this. So we'll see you guys in the morning, and there's a potential for snow tomorrow. All right, the snow has started. I thought it was going to start earlier, but it never did. But right as I'm leaving the hotel, it starts. So, you know, but it's not, it's just flurries. So I don't think it will probably stick a little bit because it's cold enough to do that, but it's not going to be that bad. Sorry, I am adjusting my hair and my scarf because I'm not really used to dressing like this anymore. I just threw on my coat and then I realized my hair is stuck in there. So I am off to get some breakfast. I found this really cute little cafe last night near my hotel, just another street over. I'm going to go try that because it looks like they have oatmeal, and that sounds amazing this morning. This is the place. It's called Maman or Mama. Can't remember now. So I just got oatmeal and a coffee, and with the tip it was like $17, and my dinner last night was like $40. So just to give you an idea of how expensive New York is. Oh my gosh, this is the coffee. Look how big it is. I miss that about living in the US, is the giant coffees. We just don't have those in Greece. Thought he was bringing me another coffee, but no, it's my oatmeal in this cute little coffee cup. That looks yummy. Down in Times Square now, as you can probably see. Gosh, I used to never come down here because it was just this loud place, and it still kind of is, but I think now they've made it a little bit more pedestrian friendly. I'm not sure. Let's see. As you can see, it's snowing. It's definitely more pedestrian friendly than it was before. This used to be like a street, and you could just walk on the sidewalk. So that's really nice. If you know New York, then like this is the little police building. Here's the police department. And then if you go all the way up, that's where they drop the New Year's Eve ball, which my understanding is it's still up and lit this year. I can just barely see it. Now you should be able to see the ball a little bit more. You can see 2024, and the ball is right above that. So that's where that drops down. So this is where all the people come who are a little bit, crazy and want to spend their New Year's Eve down here. I never recommend that. Now, I don't know, it may be different, but when I lived here, it wasn't a safe thing to do, to come down here and be stuck in these pens with people that you can't leave. So just keep that in mind if you want to do that. I will say the other thing is most of the theaters around here, so like if you're coming to go to a musical or to a play, you're probably going to be in this area somewhere. And then back up there, where that other tower is the TKTS booth, which is where sometimes you can get like same day discounted tickets on Broadway shows. I have debated doing a show. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, because it is quite expensive, as you can imagine. But after seeing restaurant prices, I'm actually surprised they're not more. So maybe I'll go take a look. They don't open on Fridays till 3 o'clock, so we'll see. I still don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. Now, on Saturdays, it looks like they open at 11, and that's probably because there are matinee shows usually at like 2 o'clock. So if you want to come down here and try to get, a cheaper ticket, this is the place to come. We are now down in what is called Hudson Yards, which this wasn't called this when I lived here, and most of these buildings weren't here when I lived here. So for those of you who are wondering, I left New York City in 2009. Now I've been back, but I haven't, that's when I lived here. So the only thing that there are lots of things to do here, but it's mostly outside. So I'm not gonna do those today, but I am gonna go look at this thing called the Vessel, which is the thing that I really wanted to come and see. It used to be able to climb it. Unfortunately, you can't now. You can Google why. I can't say here on YouTube why, because they'll block my video. That is the Vessel, which my understanding was supposed to be a piece of public art. It's a shame that you can't go up it anymore. I think the views would be really cool from there, especially today with all this beautiful snow. But I understand why. There's also something called the Edge, which is like a platform of glass that you can go stand on in one of these buildings. Of course, you need a ticket for that. I'm not going to do that for various reasons, one of them being I'm afraid of heights and it's too cold. I think New York in the snow is very beautiful, even though it is very cold. But I tell you what, the only thing that's really cold on me is my hands. Everything else is super warm. The other thing that you can do in Hudson Yards is walk the High Line, which I really wanted to do, but it's obviously just too cold and it wouldn't really be worth it because you wouldn't be able to see anything. But it is an elevated, unused railroad track that they've built this beautiful park on, essentially. So, and that's something to do, especially if you're here like in the spring or the fall. Summer might be too hot, but it's beautiful. I did it like not long after it opened, and it was really great. I did it with my dad, and it offers some amazing views of the city and the river, so definitely recommend that. I am now down at what is called the Moynihan Train Hall. It used to be the post office, and when they tore Penn Station down, the original Penn Station, this has now become the kind of new Penn Station. They're still renovating it, from my understanding, so I'm going to go in and see what I can see. I'm not sure if there's anything to see yet, but I wanted to show that to you. And then across the way is Madison Square Garden. So it used to be you went over there to catch like the Amtrak train. It looks like you can catch it over here now. Okay, they've done way more than I thought, because when I looked online, it said it only started like renovations in 2021 and that it was going to be like a 5 to 6 year project. So I'm impressed with what they have done so far. It's really nice in here. Going over to Madison Square Garden, Penn Station, whatever you want to call it, was so awful. It was gross, and there was no place to sit, and I don't know. This is amazing. Now, I noticed that there's still no place to sit, though. So that's not great. People are sitting on the ground still, but maybe that's going to change. I do see some seating upstairs over there, so let's walk around, see what we can see. There are all these restaurants down here, and I mean, you could come down here and just stay inside Penn Station and hang out. You don't even have to get on a train. Oh, this is the place that I got breakfast this morning, Maman. So, got lots of cool options. But the one thing that is now missing, because it's so modern, is the old-fashioned train timetable where it clicks and stuff and makes all that fabulous noise. Obviously, not over here anymore. So I don't even know if now you can leave for the trains from the Madison Square Garden side, but anyway, it's beautiful. It definitely needed the upgrade, and it's fabulous in here now. I did not go into the post office area to see if they've done anything in there, That may be one of the later plans. I don't know. I haven't ever looked at the plans to see like what the changes were going to be, but it's so much nicer in there. So now I'm going to go have lunch, and I'm actually going to take you to a place that I never went to the entire time I lived here. That is where we're going. We're going to the Chelsea Market. There are shops, there are restaurants, but I am going to definitely go eat lunch. It's already 2 o'clock. And I'm standing behind this building because the walk signal is yellow, red, whatever you want to call it. And I stepped around the corner of this building and the wind is fierce. So I'm going to stay over here until the light turns, and then I'll walk across the street. For some reason, they didn't want me to film with my actual camera in here, which is fine. All of the places to eat were really unique. There was a taco place, there was this noodle place, and then I ended up eating at this Friedman's place, which was like American food. I ended up getting a 3-bean chili, which you could then add different kinds of cheese to. So it was really great and nice on a cold, freezing day. I walked around some more and I found their fabulous bookstore, had books on New York City history, had fiction books based in New York, and they had lots of other great books. Then I just walked around and looked at all of the shops and all of the beautiful decorations. You could easily spend a whole afternoon in here. Oh my gosh, guys. Yep, I'm back in my hotel laying on the bed because I'm exhausted. I don't walk as much anymore, and then there's the stairs of the subway. So my advice to you, if you're coming, practice before you get here, or, just pace yourself. So I'm going to lay here for a while and give my feet a break before I go back out for the evening. Walking up Fifth Avenue to go to Rockefeller Center, and my trick for staying warm is to just keep going in different shops. Now that the sun has gone down, it's getting cooler and it's definitely chillier, and even with my gloves on, my hands are cold. So that's my tip, is to just shop your way up Fifth Avenue. I'm not even that far, my hotel is fairly close, but it's just brutally cold. I'm also not used to it. When I lived here, I don't remember being cold walking around that much. Like sometimes yes, but not all the time. And I think, you get used to it. All right, I have made it down to Rockefeller Center, and New York is different. I'm just going to say that now. I've been holding off on saying it all day, but it's different. This place used to be bustling. All the shops are open, even at night. And even not during the Christmas season, this would be like the place to come. And it's just dead down here. Now maybe it's the cold, but I've never known that to keep tourists away, so I'm not really sure. Like all of these shops on this side are closed. Their lights are on, except for the Tiffany store, but only a few of them are open. And usually this is all like brightly lit, but it's kind of dark. I kind of walked up and I was like, what's going on? The really brave people are the ones down there ice skating in this weather. At least I know the skating rink is still popular. I was going to go into Saks Fifth Avenue because I used to work there, but they close at 7. New York has definitely changed. But instead I'm going to go into St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is right next door to Saks Fifth Avenue. And it looks beautiful here from the outside, and it's beautiful inside. If there's a mass, I won't do a lot of filming. Even if there is, I won't be speaking. I will just film and then tell you more later, because it's, it's a religious place and people are praying. St. Patrick's was started in 1858 and then was put on hold during the Civil War and ultimately finished in 1879. It is one of the most beautiful churches here in America, in my opinion. Guys, it has been a very slow start to the morning. It is very cold today. I think when I woke up it was -8 Celsius. It's very chilly. I have on multiple layers, and I decided to just take it easy and let the day try to warm up as much as possible before I head out. But it is a museum day because it is so cold. This is what I recommend doing. And let's get out there in the cold. We have made it. I am on 82nd Street, just took the bus up Madison Avenue, and there it is. The one thing I will say about going into the museum is, like the Greek museums, I may not be able to take video. I'm guessing no, so I will take pictures and share with you guys. But this is definitely something I recommend doing, no matter the weather. But it's really great if it's really cold outside or if it's really hot. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, or the Met, is the largest art museum in the Americas and the 4th largest art museum in the world. And as you can see, there are things from lots of different places. They also have lots of traveling exhibits that come. There was one while I was there on women addressing women, which was spectacular. They had female designers from all over the world, and many of their different creations they had made for other women. This particular exhibit is my mother's favorite. It's the armor exhibit. It's pretty impressive that they built these and made these in the 14th and 15th century. And then my favorite section, which is where all the Monets are. All right, I'm gonna take a break from the art because I want to come outside in the day and see a few things. The good thing about the Met is your ticket is good all day. So I will come back later, and it'll be colder later. So it's a good time. It's a good thing to do. So, and it's also a good way to break up the art. Now, I probably won't do too much showing of you guys what I did when I go back in. I'll just show it to you all at once. So don't worry, I'm not going to torture you with 2 sets of museum tours. What you may not realize is that the Metropolitan Museum of Art actually sits in Central Park. So that's where we're going to go now. This is going to be a very quick visit to the park because the wind is just fierce over here because the buildings are further away from you. So, but I can't resist coming down here because it's so pretty in the snow. So there's the Met building. And if it was warmer, I would take you to some of my favorite places in here, but it's just not warm enough. The wind is better in the park, at least. So there's the Great Lawn, which is always worth going to, particularly in the summer. There's the castle, which isn't really like a castle, but it's a cool place to go to the top and have a nice view. And of course, just walking around here is beautiful. This is what I look like right now. Just completely bundled with as very little exposed as possible. My nose is completely red. My hands and my nose are the coldest thing. But I'm not going to stay out here for very long. This is the other thing I wanted to come and show you, is the Egyptian obelisk that is behind the Met. It's really amazing. I'm not going to go any closer though because I'd have to walk around even more out here in the cold, and I just can't do that today. So I have come to Macy's. So Macy's is one of my favorite places in New York. I know that sounds a little weird. I'm not a big shopper, but it's just so like New York nostalgia. They have like amazing Christmas windows. There's a wooden escalator. I hope it's still there. And obviously this is where the Macy's Day Parade kind of ends, and this is the square where they perform. So, and there's an ambulance coming in true New York style. Back in Grand Central Station for the last time. It is now time for me to head to the airport to go back to Texas. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button because there are more travel adventures coming.